The bureaucratic challenges and bottlenecks faced by Nigerian military veterans in assessing their pensions and benefits are quite enormous. Despite dedicating their lives to the nation's service, many of our heroes find themselves entangled in administrative hurdles post retirement. Hello and welcome. My name is Annabelle Kemi, and you are on the Other Side podcast. According to some research, a study analyzing 45 news articles from 2015 up to 2022 highlighted that since 2015, Nigerian veterans have been staging protests and blocking access roads due to non-payment of pensions, gratuities, and other allowances. Military veterans organized peaceful protests at the Federal Ministry of Finance, leading the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to order immediate release of funds for outstanding pension arrears and salary increases. As a matter of fact, I just got 1 out of 2 months of my pension paid this morning as we speak. This systemic issue within the Military Pensions Administration necessitates urgent attention. Now, the Nigerian Military Pensions Board was established to ensure that military retirees receive their due pensions and benefits. However, in recent years, the board has persistently failed in disbursing pensions on time. Funding shortfalls, bureaucratic bottlenecks, and administrative inefficiencies have led to irregular payments, leaving many veterans in a precarious financial situation. I felt that when my pension was not paid last month. So the impact on veterans is huge. For many Nigerian veterans, often the elderly and vulnerable ones, the delay in pension payments translates directly to severe hardship. Regular incomes meant to cover essential needs such as food, health care, and shelter have more or less been disrupted, plunging these heroes into financial insecurity. Protests by military pensioners, marked by sit-ins and demonstrations outside key government offices, highlights the deep frustration and despair felt by those who once defended this nation but now struggle to even feed. Addressing these issues requires a multifaceted approach. The first thing the Military Pensions Board should consider doing is to modernize administrative processes. Implementing robust digital systems like biometric verifications and online life certificate platforms can go a long way in reducing errors and streamlining the payments process. Innovations by technology partners have already begun to ease the burden on pensioners by allowing remote verification to an extent. However, a lot still needs to be done in this area. Another thing the federal government should consider doing is ensuring timely funding. The government must commit to the prompt release of allocated funds to the Military Pensions Board. And the Military Pensions Board should also do the needful as and at when due. Enhanced budgetary planning and transparency will ensure that pension arrears do not accumulate. There have been cases of corruption in the Military Pensions Board. These things should be looked into. We could also establish oversight mechanisms. Independent committees and regular audits can go a long way in improving accountability within the Military Pensions Board. A transparent reporting system would allow veterans and the public track payments progress and address discrepancies swiftly. Another thing the Military Pensions Board could consider is review and adjustment of pension structures. This they will have to do hand in hand with the leadership of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and the federal government itself. An upward review of pension scales to reflect current inflation and cost of living is essential. Revising the payment framework in consultation with veterans associations themselves can help bridge the gap between past sacrifices and present day need. You cannot be paying us what you paid us at veterans at this time last year. That won't be fair considering the rate of inflation. One thing we all must understand is this: the challenges facing the Nigerian Military Pensions Board are not merely administrative. They affect the dignity and well-being of those who served this nation. By modernizing its systems, ensuring the timely release of funds, and establishing rigorous oversight, The Military Pensions Board can begin to restore trust and secure the financial stability of Nigeria's veterans. Addressing these issues is not a matter of financial management, but also of honoring the commitments and the sacrifices of the nation's defenders. Now, in closing, I would like to say that the bureaucratic obstacles hindering Nigerian veterans from accessing their rightful pensions and benefits are both profound and persistent. While recent interventions, such as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's directive in December 2024 to release funds for outstanding arrears, offer some sort of glimmer of hope, sustainable solutions require comprehensive policy reforms. The government needs to consider establishing a centralized Veterans Federation of Nigeria. We have a certain organization right now, but I feel like it is not inclusive enough. There are so many veterans that do not even belong to that federation or do not even know that it exists for them. A centralized Veterans Federation of Nigeria can address veterans' concerns more effectively. And as a society, we owe it to these brave men and women to ensure that they receive the support and the respect they have earned. Let's advocate for policy changes. Let's support veterans organizations. Let's hold authorities accountable to transform these promises into tangible actions. And that is the reason why I am seated here today, and I have dedicated some weeks on my podcast to address the issues faced by veterans of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I feel like we can do a lot better to make life easier for the people we consider our heroes past. Oh well, that's where I'll draw the curtains for today as I let you ruminate on what I have said today, and I call on the appropriate authorities to, for once, do the right thing by your heroes. My name is Annabelle Kemi, and you have been on the Other Side podcast.